Welcome back. Here in Nigeria, the police in Lagos State have uncovered an illegal electronic waste factory in a residential area located in Ikeja. The factory, owned and operated by some Chinese nationals, assembles used electronic panels and packages them for exports to China, Vietnam and Dubai. Speaking with Channels Television at the factory site, the commander in charge of the area, Soji Akinbayo, says they were hinted by the community about the legal activities within the compound.
To a first-timer, this structure could pass for a corporate office. But the activities going on in here is jaw-dropping. It's a complete electronics waste dump and housing over 30 youths who work on a rational 12-hour shift daily.
The resident contacted us, and in the other, we contacted the LASEPA, Lagos State Environment Protection Agency, and we contacted the Safety Commission of Lagos State. So we are all here. So we came here together only to discover that they are working on panels of phones that have been condemned, which are toxic. And the people that are working with them are not protected. Their mouths are not covered, their nostrils are not covered. The place is smoky, no ventilation if you go in there. Then finding out how much they are paid. They pay 20,000 naira for the workers. They say they allow them to sleep here. Anyone that sleeps here, they give them extra 10,000 for feeding, for not going home. So total package for them is 30,000. Go inside.
27-year-old Lee Roneng and 22-year-old Lin Pehad were arrested at the factory. They claim they arrived in Nigeria with a 1-month visa, but extended their stay to start up an e-waste business illegally. The Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency and the Safety Commission immediately followed up on the situation, with the Immigration Service also launching its investigation.
We are not saying they should not do their work, or not to the detriment of the workers' safety and health, equally their well-being, and this could have an effect, on their health. So Lagos State is not ready for that.
Directed immediately that the Adapter of Immigration Service, other coordinators on Lagos, and the control of immigration in Lagos to unravel the issues surrounding the coming in of the two Chinese, the operation of their business, the validity of their travel documents, and everything surrounding them. The Lagos Command and the Zone Office will have comprehensive report for the Control of Immigration Service to decide on the status of the immigrants.
For now, the illegal factory remains sealed as investigations continue, while Nigerians wait on the steps that will be taken by the Immigration Service and concerned authorities.
Now, 3 inmates have died in a riot in a prison in the northern city of Nampula in northeastern Mozambique. The clashes at the jail home to about 1,700 prisoners began after a guard accidentally dropped a tear gas grenade during routine rounds. Reports say angry prisoners reacted by storming and setting fire to the jail's administrative offices, where documents relating to their cases were stored. The rioters also attacked the kitchen and health center, in addition to the 3 fatalities. 4 other prisoners were seriously injured and are currently undergoing treatment at the Central Hospital of Nampula. 2 guards were slightly injured, but no prisoners escaped from the regional prison during the chaos. Jails in Mozambique tend to be overcrowded, often holding more than double their capacity. In North Africa, the United Nations has voiced concern for the safety of 36 migrants who have been turned away by the Tunisian authorities at the Libyan border. The migrants from Côte d'Ivoire, including a number of children, were sent back into Libyan territory from the southern border area. The Tunisian government says the migrants are not its responsibility. Libya's location and unstable political situation has made it a focus for migrants hoping to continue on to Europe. Uganda has begun an exercise to vet all non-governmental organizations in the country. The government says it wants to build a reliable and credible data bank of all private organizations and to find out the source of their funding. However, critics say the exercise being conducted by the National Bureau for NGOs and the Ministry of Internal Affairs can easily be abused to unfairly target NGOs critical of the government. A verification exercise carried out last year found that there were more than 14,000 NGOs in the country, with 10,397 operating with expired permits. A lawsuit filed by a Sierra Leone community against a diamond mining firm owned by Israeli billionaire Benny Steinmetz, BSG Resources, underscores how local groups in developing countries are increasingly emboldened to try and use legal methods to address grievances. The lawsuit filed in March in the West African country's High Court claims $288 million in damages for degradation or destruction of land, destruction of homes and loss of livelihoods, and dumping of toxic mine waste, among other things.
At the root of a slag heap, some 40 meters high, Adi Kali Bangura showed cracks in the walls of his home and holes in his aluminium roof, he says, are the result of rot loosened by years of blasting by Sierra Leone's largest diamond mine. Bangura is a traditional Highland community elder in Koidu, the largest city in the West African country's diamond-rich Kono district.
You see, behind there, it's all damaged.
Bangura also points to black wealth that dot his arms and legs, that he says are the result of drinking and bathing in water contaminated by the mine.
This water really not fine for we. It's not sickness for we.
We get sick living here. Before this company arrived, this area had fine water.
Bangura's claim is part of those made by a group of Koidu residents in a lawsuit against diamond mining firm Octil Limited and related companies, highlighting how communities in developing countries are becoming increasingly emboldened to use court to pursue grievances against mining firms. The group alleges Octi poisoned the water, destroyed houses, and failed to relocate hundreds of households away from the blasting. But Octi says the allegations are baseless and without merit. Octi is a subsidiary of BSG Resources, founded by Israeli billionaire Benny Steinmetz. Across Africa and the developing world, local groups are increasingly mounting legal challenges against companies extracting minerals. According to data from Business and Human Rights Resource Center, a UK-based organization that tracks the human rights policy and performance of companies, the number of high-profile lawsuits against foreign natural resource firms filed by communities in developing countries nearly doubled over the last decade to over 30, up from 16 filed between 1998 and 2008.
Now, the United Nations environmental experts say switching to a plant-based diet can help fight climate change. A major report on land use and climate change says the West's high consumption of meat and dairy produce is fueling global warming. But scientists and officials stop short of explicitly calling on everyone to become vegan or vegetarian. They say that more people could be fed using less land if individuals cut down on eating meat.
We humans affect more than 70% of ice-free land. A quarter of this land is degraded. The way we produce food and what we eat contributes to the loss of natural ecosystems and declining biodiversity. When land is degraded, it reduces the soil's ability to take up carbon, and this exacerbates climate change. In turn, climate change exacerbates land degradation in many different ways. Today, 500 million people live in areas that experience desertification. People living in already degraded or desertified areas are increasingly negatively affected by climate change.
And that's the program today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Teniola Shoboeli.